Kia ora koutou, ko Mikulta toko ingoa, kei Hakinakina o Waitakere aho e mahi ana, ko te kaiwhakako, hapori taku tūranga. G'day, Mikulta Community Coaching Club Lead. Welcome to Sport Waitakere Coffee Chat. Today we're hosted by Columbus Coffee on West Coast Road in Dunedin, and we're having a chat with Alex Taua, who's a good Westie coach. He's played a bit of rugby league for Newlands Stags, Marist, I'll get that right, that's my Aussie twang, and a little bit for Te Atatū Roosters. Currently on the coaching staff at Marist Rugby League. And Alex, welcome.
Thanks, Mick. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, not a problem. So, Alex, you've been involved in. So we caught up through the Coach Evolve program. You're on the first cohort for 2021. What got you into coaching in the first place?
It all started with my kids, really, and. Obviously coming from a league background, you want your kids to follow suit. So when they started playing league, it was exciting for me. So naturally, when they're young, they're looking for a coach, and you kind of just stick your hand up from there. That's how it all happened.
The old hand up coach. I think it was for me. I didn't get my hand up. I think my wife nominated me. She said, "Oh, you're coaching your daughter, by the way." No. So for those that don't know, I've got an AFL background, and my daughter's playing Ripper Rugby, and my wife nominated me to coach. But that's okay. I love it. So Alex, it's a really good bit of a segue, because through the Evolve program and the conversations that we've had. So one of the things we talk about is certainly experiences that have shaped our coaching, and a lot of people will be able to resonate with this, being the hand up or the parent coach. What's one of those experiences you talk about coaching your son? Can you share that story with the West Auckland coaching community?
So one of my experiences. So I've been coaching both my boys. At one stage I was coaching two teams in one season, and it was like one training would be for my younger boy, and then the next training would be for my older son. But and I've taken them from when they first started, kind of till now.
Yep.
And one of the experiences I've had was probably about a couple of years ago, when we were playing a team out we're playing Pakuranga, and we had 21 players, and at the time I could only field 17, and we had a rule: if you turn up to training, you're guaranteed to play a game. And that I remember that weekend, because we had a few players that didn't turn up to training, but they had other things they had on, which were kind of, you couldn't say, "Oh no, you can't. You have to come to training. That's not good enough." But so they turned up to the game anyway, and because the game was so far, what I did was like 21 players turned up on that day, and I actually decided that, in my mind, I thought it would be fair to sit my son out, who I'd been coaching, and I'd put on that father hat, thinking that, okay, if I'm to sacrifice, I'll sacrifice my son for the team. And I remember he cried that day, and he said, "Dad, I've turned up to all the trainings, I've done everything you've asked of me. Why do I get to sit out?" And I didn't answer him until after the game. Anyway, long story short, another parent came up to me, and I thought, this parent's going to come and say thank you for letting his son play, but actually it was the opposite.
Yeah.
He came up to me and he said that he was really disappointed in my coaching. And I was like, it took me by surprise, and I said, "Oh, why is that?" And he said sometimes you've got to set aside the father hat and put the coaching hat on, because as a team, as a coach for a team, that's how you could be fair. And it really took me back, because that's exactly what I'd done. I'd put my father hat on thinking, oh, I can take the sacrifice, not really realising that my son it was his sacrifice as well.
Yeah.
He wanted to play. So from that conversation with him, it was something that I kept reflecting on, and now it's something that, as much as I want to be a dad, in a team situation, it's really important that you be fair to everyone, and that includes your son as a player. And that's when so
that how difficult was the conversation after the game?
With my dad, or with your son? Sorry, with my son. My wife was giving it to me as well. So she was giving it to me, and but my son, I pretty much had to apologise. It wasn't something that McDonald's could fix, so a combo after the game couldn't fix it, But learning from that, I know now.
So, taking that experience, because now you're coaching, you've gone from coaching your sons, and now you're starting to coach young men with the Prems out at Marist Rugby League. You're part of the staff out there. How have you taken that? How does that experience translate into your coaching now?
I think it's a little bit different, because my son's not playing in the Prems, but I noticed because this is pretty much the last 3 years has been the first time I've actually coached men. And the transition from going from coaching a young team to men's, it's trying to, because the young men, the men actually act like, I think they're all the same. That's something that I've realised, they're all the same. Just some interpret the message a little bit different. So with the Marist Prems, it's been really good actually. It was actually me trying to find my style and how I can communicate with them a lot better. So they come from different backgrounds, and it's just trying to, I guess trying to speak in a language that they can understand. So,
So would you say that transition's been difficult, or it's been again you're saying, well, geez, I've got to put another feather in the cap and work out how to communicate in a different way. Do you still? I guess the question is, do you still coach your sons at any stage, or are you just focused on the Prems now?
Oh no, I'm still so with my young men. I think they're with the Prems and the younger boys. And this is the good thing about Marist. I'm not trying to promote anything here, but this is the really good thing about the boys at Marist, the Prems, is they're really welcoming. So when I told them about our younger team, they were like, oh yeah, bring them to training kind of thing. And so our boys started training with the men, and to be honest, the communication between the boys and the men, I think the only thing that was different was with the men I'm a little bit more direct. Because they kind of understand the why already. Whereas with the younger guys, got to kind of explain the why before we can explain. So when we have them all together in a group, the younger boys that I've coached over the years, they don't click on as fast but you can see that the mind's processing.
Yeah, well, that's those stages of development, isn't it? They've not quite been in the game as long, and they're still working it out and finding their own answers, I guess.
So and when they get stuck, the good thing about it is the men from the prems, they actually, will break it down for them as well.
Perfect. Yeah.
So it's been a really good.
That's a cool environment to have.
Yeah. So it's been really good.
That'd be a pleasure to coach in that environment, I'm sure. Alex, you're on Coach Evolve this year, which is a program that Sport Waitakere, Sport Auckland, Harbour Sport and CLM Community Sport deliver in partnership for development coaches like yourself. We're a third of the way through the first cohort for 21. What's probably, has there been any moment through the program so far that you've just gone, oh geez, you know what, I might try that, or oh geez, that's a bit different to what I do, I might give that a go?
I think one of the things that we went through was the in one of our meetings that we had, one of the coach developers, they were talking about explain the why and then show them the what and how, and whereas I think I've always coached it a little bit backwards. I've always gone the what, the how, and then the why. And by then I think the boys, their attention span kind of shuts off by the time you get to the why. But that's probably something that I've taken on board this year, is explaining the why first. So the boys can see what we need to work on. And then this is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're going to achieve that why. And so that's something that's probably changed in my coaching.
So reversing your narrative a little bit.
Okay. One of the other things is because I've got all this, because I've got so many ideas in my head that sometimes communicating it is a little bit difficult for me. So practicing the communication side. A lot more, so I think we
do you find it's also, Alex, it's because I know exactly what you mean when you've got all these ideas going on in your head. Is it about picking which one's the right one for that moment?
And I guess because I like to watch a lot of videotapes and stuff like that, and it's trying to I guess upskill them in that area where they need to be. And so that come next game or the next two games, they kind of understand what we're trying to do. It's
good when you've got that support in terms of being able to have footage and then share that with the team as well. I guess that's another big bonus.
It is. It's huge.
Coaching.
It's huge. You can actually identify areas where I guess the principles you're trying to teach aren't being met. So definitely massive having footage.
So Alex, for all those parent coaches out there in West Auckland, what would be the one tip that you'd give them?
Parent coaches, it would be probably when you put your coach hat on, leave it on. Leave the father hat off. Okay, unless you're going to be, there is no unless, so it's either, leave the coach hat on and treat everyone the same, including your son.
I guess that comes up, I know I was going to start closing up there, but it just popped up another question in my head is, how do you, as a parent coach, what's the conversation you have with in your case, your son? As you're, when you first started coaching, did you have a conversation with your son?
No, we didn't.
About the coaching?
No, to be honest, it was just, jump out of the car, we're at training and carry on. There was no conversation about, but it is probably a good idea. It's something that my boys know now. Ever since that experience happened. But it's, as soon as we get to the car park, it's, boys, you guys are a player now. I'm coach.
I'm coach.
You can talk to me afterwards.
You
can talk to me in the car. but during the I think the other thing is it's a little bit hard. It's,
Yeah.
you know, because like my son still
definitely.
calls me dad
Yeah.
during training, and I'm like, going, hey, it's supposed to be coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, I was very mindful of it when I coached Ashley, and so she was under 9, so she was 9 years old when she started, and you know, having that type of conversation with your 9-year-old daughter was hard. It was hard to have, and you know, I missed a year of coaching, and this year I'm coming back into it, and she's pretty excited about it. But it'll still be that conversation, and we'll be saying, hey, look, it's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a journey, and you know, thank you for sharing your story, because it's certainly something I'll keep in the mind every time I jump out the car at training. I'll be going, yep, dad hat off, coach's hat on.
Coach's hat.
Yeah.
So you don't get a growling from the parents?
Well, it's one, well, it's a growling from the parents, but it's also a growling from the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, from in my case, from daughter. You know, we can always be, sometimes even, you know, you say being fair, but sometimes we can almost be harder on our own kid, can't we?
Yeah, that's right.
And to make it look like, hey, we are being fair, not playing favourites. Alex, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate coming along and having a chat with us and sharing your story with the West Auckland Coaching Network. Team, I hope that's been helpful. If you've had a similar story, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you haven't already, jump on the West Auckland Coaching Network and give us a thumbs up and join the group. And yeah, until next time, ka kite.
Cool. Thanks, man.